Like flowing water is the person from Marash, hands in cotton, rice and pepper, carves and sews as if embroidering with silver, dances and kneels, playing the halai. The history of this beautiful province is as old as the history of mankind. The territories of this area hosted the Hittites alongside many other civilizations. Today's Marash came under Ottoman rule in 1514, but was previously occupied many times. The heroic people of Marash liberated their own town in 1920 after a fierce battle of 22 days and were honored in 1925 with the Order of Independence, Turkish Grand National Assembly granted in memory of their valiant struggle. That was the first time in history a city was honored by an Order of Independence. In 1973, the title of Kahraman, meaning heroic, was officially conferred upon Marash, and its name changed to Kahramanmaraş. Kahramanmaraş constitutes the border of the passage from the Mediterranean to central and eastern Anatolia. While one part of the city experiences winter, the other part still clings to spring, somehow bedecked with flowers. These territories speak of the dance the green has with the red, the yellow, and the blue. The all-permeating smell of soil watered by rain is almost tangible. Though without a shoreline, Marash is rich in rivers and water resources, having a strong tourism potential. Kahramanmaraş, 593 kilometers from Ankara, 1,046 kilometers from Istanbul, and 1,087 kilometers from Izmir, is easily accessible by land, air, and rail. Traveling by land to Ankara, Istanbul, and Izmir, and all other provinces via Kayseri and Adana is very easy. Moreover, there are direct scheduled flights every day to Istanbul and on certain days of the week to Ankara. Transportation to all corners of Turkey from Narlıbelde is also possible by rail via Adana. Kahramanmaraş offers to its visitors tours and excursions and everything possible to entertain them, boasting a wide spectrum of opportunities catering to the buffs of nature tourism, faith tourism, culture tourism, and thermal tourism. Kahramanmaraş also has a gastronomical flair with its delicious cuisine appealing to all five senses. The Maraş ice cream, made from the milk of goats grazing the flower-carpeted mountains in the region, and the richly aromatic salep, has succeeded in making its name heard all over the world. This savory ice cream goes as part of Turkey's exports to many countries in the world, including the United States, Australia, and China. Also sold at home under different brand names, the Maraş ice cream is a great source of income for Maraş. Tarhana, which is a sun-dried food made of curd, tomato, and flour, has a special place in Kahramanmaraş. Tarhana, an enduring foodstuff suitable for all weather conditions, was usually prepared for those going to the battlefront and is an indigenous product of Kahramanmaraş. The tarhana soup, the tirşik soup, the ekşili soup, the simit soup, içli köfte, which is meatballs filled with cracked wheat, ekşili köfte, meatballs with rice in egg and lemon sauce, ekşili ayasulusu, meatballs with yogurt, dövme aşı, bastı, pestil, and çullama are the special dishes exclusive to Kahramanmaraş and are worthwhile foods which have to be tasted to be believed. Handicrafts in Kahramanmaraş, which incorporates both the still upheld traditional values and the contemporary, are preserved meticulously. Using copper to make utensils and other artifacts is an art passed down from one generation to another. Copper is still shaped in Kahramanmaraş in the hands of masters who stick to the dictates of this ages-old tradition using the miraculous blows of the hammer. Jewelry in Kahramanmaraş is a profession by itself, which transforms art into an industrial occupation. The gemstones, cut in different shapes and carrying to our day the hidden secrets of history, make jewelry a passion in the city, whose reputed designs in workmanship, such as Maraş burması, known since the time of the Dülkadiroğlu Principality, has a multitude of admirers from across the country. The covered bazaar is bedecked with the dreams of the young girl. Her coy look becomes the silver thread on the bindallı, falling on the tenter-like patterns, like my Maraş turns into embroidery in the old bazaar. The velvets sewn and embroidered by women burning the candle at both ends to produce awesome products of rich brocade have a justified reputation in many parts of the world. This talent, inherited from Ottoman palaces and performed today in Kahramanmaraş by the diligent women of the region, is embodied by the ornate embroideries on women's clothes and men's waistcoats, bedspreads and prayer rugs, all bearing motifs exclusive to Kahramanmaraş. Wood carving done on the raw material obtained from the richly forested mountains of Kahramanmaraş, where some seasons may be experienced simultaneously, is found in pieces of furniture or in the dowry of young girls. This art, still kept alive today for commercial purposes, attracts the guests, Turkish and foreign alike, to the city. Köşkerlik, the local word for leather processing. This handicraft, catering to a variety of needs, from clothing to harnesses, is most famous when it comes to shoemaking. The shoes, which are the work of this exclusive craft, are said to embrace the feet like a booty. Referred to as Yemeni in local parlance, these shoes are also used in various films, one of which is the Harry Potter series. Keçe, shaped with great difficulty to what we may liken to kneading dough, is generally used in the making of saddles. This craft or special neck, which is unfortunately dying out, is being kept alive thanks to a handful of masters committed to passing it on to future generations.
Maraş'tan bir haber geldi, Maraş'tan bir haber geldi. Dediler ki Merik öldü, oy oy oy oy oy.
Keşke Merik ölmeseydi, keşke Merik ölmeseydi, kesileydin elim kolum, oy oy. Oy Merik, Merik, Merik, kurban olam sana Merik, ben hayranım sana.
Bir çintik.
The cultural assets of Kahramanmaraş are not limited to handicrafts. Many poets and authors were born and lived in the city, permeated by history. The birthplace of such folk dances as Şirvani, Kına, Maraş Üç Ayağı, Kahramanmaraş is also the homeland of Karacaoğlan, Necip Fazıl Kısakürek, Aşık Mahsuni Şerif, Adil Erdem Bayazıt, Rasim Özdenören, Alaaddin Özdenören, Cahit Zarifoğlu, Hayati Vasfi Taşyürek, Bahattin Karakoç, Abdurrahim Karakoç, among many others. God-assigned liberated nation, raise your head to above the sun. He who tries to hunt you gets hunted, never to be surrounded and closed in on. History oozes from the soil in Kahramanmaraş, which hosted the Hittites. Bronze, glass, ceramic finds dating to the Hittites, Hellenistic, Roman, and Byzantine periods, as well as the late Hittite period tombs and other remains from the same era, are on exhibit at the Kahramanmaraş City Museum. One of the precious pieces displayed in the museum is the gun which Sütçü Imam used to fire the first shot in the Turkish War of Liberation. The Sütçü Imam monument is at the center of the city. A people's hero, Sütçü Imam was born in Kahramanmaraş and played a key role in the local people's struggle against the Armenians and the French. Sütçü Imam, who went to the mountains after firing at the French soldier when he wanted to take off a Muslim woman's veil, later fought against the occupying forces during the War of Liberation and fell in battle when the shell he wanted to fire from the fortress exploded in his hand. His monumental tomb is in the garden of the Bektutiyet Çınarlı Mosque. The excavation for the mosaics of the antique city of Germinisia, sprawling over a couple of neighborhoods in the heart of Kahramanmaraş, began in December 2009. With everything on earth being exhibited where it was dug out, the whole area is going to be an open-air museum. This historical city, amid a rich legacy of different civilizations in its bosom, always preserves its importance as a rising asset. Another historical structure in Kahramanmaraş is the fortress of Kahramanmaraş. Sitting atop the hill at the heart of the city, the fortress overlooks the whole area. The fortress, reached by a winding uphill road, is believed to have been built in the 9th century BC in the late Hittite period. A large number of bazaars and old bazaars in the center of the city are where the guests to Kahramanmaraş stop by to buy souvenirs. Among the oldest commercial venues of Kahramanmaraş are the Maraş Bazaar and the Old Bazaar, both of which were built towards the end of the 15th century in the period of Dulkadir Principality. The Covered Bazaar, the Lower Old Bazaar, the Coppersmiths Bazaar, Saddle Makers Bazaar, the Textiles Bazaar, and the Mazman Bazaar, located right at the center of the historical bazaar compound, were built during the time of Ottomans at the end of the 16th century. The Old Bazaar to the north of the compound has a door on each of its sides, and they lead you to different market areas. This bazaar, where almost thousands of different types of clothes, rugs, carpets and textile items are touted, was one of the most favored stops of the Silk Road merchants, and it still retains its importance today. Totally renovated, the bazaar stands today with its former magnificence, serving as the artery of commerce and trade in Kahramanmaraş. This structure within the bazaar, standing as if attesting to its glorious past, is Taşhan, or Stone Inn. The historical mansions are among the most important remains of Kahramanmaraş. While some of these mansions are restored to their original form, some, still standing up to the ravages of time, are trying to survive with gritty determination. Usually two-story, these mansions are basically adobe houses. Fountains are also among the eye-catching historical structures in the city centre. Having filtered through the vicissitudes of life, these fountains are usually located near mosques. The Ceyhan Bridge, built over the Ceyhan River during the period of Dülkadir Principality in the 15th century, is among the longest bridges of Anatolia, with a length of 158 meters. Ulu Cami, or the Grand Mosque standing next to the stone madrasa, and a monumental tomb with a pyramidal roof, was the biggest mosque of that period. It was built by Süleyman Bey, one of the rulers of Dülkadir Principality. The powerful ruler of Dülkadir Principality, Alaüddevle Bey, had this mosque called Hatuniye, built for his wife, Şems Hatun. The Haznadarlı Mosque, built by Alaüddevle Bey's treasurer, Ala Aga. The Abdülhamit Han Mosque, one of the three mosques dating from our country's more recent past. The Afşin Ulu Mosque, built in 1571 by Muhammad, who was the son of Pir Ali of Danishmentli community. The Elbistan Grand Mosque, commissioned by Ali Bey, who was the son of the Dülkadir Principality Sultan Sheikh Sucar Bey. The mosque was built between 1515 and 1522. Himmet Baba, monumental tomb, small mosque and lodge, commissioned in 1496 by Alaüddevle Bey in Elbistan. The small mosque and monumental tomb of İklime Hatun, built in 1547 by İklime Hatun, who was from the Dülkadiroğulları dynasty in Kahramanmaraş. The Eshab-ı Kehf Külliya, which dates from the period of Anatolian Seljuks and is considered important in terms of faith tourism. The tomb of Malik Ejder, rebuilt with a combined style of Ottoman and Seljuk architecture, is on the hill named after him. Malik Ejder, known to have arrived in Anatolia with an Islamic army under the command of Khalid bin Velid, is rumored to have died on this hill. There are lots of baths in the city center. They are among the best examples of Turkish baths, which are quite a draw for Turkish and foreign tourists. Kahramanmaraş, also rich in undersurface waters, is one of the provinces having the lead in health tourism. The Ilıca Hot Springs and the Ekinözü and Göksun Büyük Kızılcık spas have been among the spots Turkish and foreign visitors have stopped by for years to benefit from their curative power. With its fresh air, Kahramanmaraş ranks among the top cities where plateau tourism is concerned. The Yavşan Plateau Natural Park and the Başkonuş Plateau are ideal places with their scenic qualities for outdoor sports buffs and those who want to breathe in mountain air and feel part of nature. If you are in the right season, going to Uludağ Hill is a must. The colony of ladybirds, which come to this hill only once a year, offers a spectacular experience. These plateaus, dotted here and there with accommodation facilities belonging to the Forestry Administration, are the right prescription with their flora and fauna to clean both your soul and lungs. The Döngel Cave, which is 58 kilometers from the center of Kahramanmaraş, and Bulut Deliği Cave to the southeast of Pazarcık Township, are awaiting to fascinate visitors with their out-of-this-world scenic qualities. The Döngel Cave, with a creek having the same name flowing through it and creating falls here and there, is one of the earliest living areas of mankind and leaves the visitors awestruck. The village of Süleymanlı in the central township of Kahramanmaraş is an interesting place as a tourist attraction. This area, known as Zeytun, is a very old settlement located around the Zeytun Creek. The Savru Cave in this area, with the falls on its front and its picnic grounds around, is like a noteworthy tourism envoy in a sprawling plain. Kahramanmaraş is also suitable for angling, which is possible in certain months of the year in the Sır and Menzelet Dam Lakes. The Menzelet Dam Lake also hosted the offshore races in the 2010 World Championship. Like a gemstone covered with the dust of history, Kahramanmaraş has 9 townships, each more beautiful than the other. The township of Andırın, right to the west of the city, has a Mediterranean climate. The Kestel Cave in the region is a natural wonder, fascinating everyone who sees it. The township of Andırın can be considered a treasure trove in terms of the fortresses it has. Beginning from the Adana provincial border and from north to south, there are a total of 28 fortresses such as Meyremçil, Azgıt, Ak, Alameşe, Anacık, Haçdırın, Burunönü, and Hisar fortresses. The township of Afşin, to the north of the city, dating to 3000 BC, has a land climate. The Dede Baba, a monumental tomb at the center of the township, was built in the first quarter of the 16th century in the Dülkadir Principality period. The Hurman Fortress, built at a domineering place at the convergence of 3 passes, is located on the bank of the Hurman River and is the biggest fortress of the region, resembling architecturally a garrison. The Büget Aqueduct, which is a dam embankment dating from the Romans, is one of the places worth seeing. The Kuru Inn on the Elbistan-Kayseri-Sivas caravan route, built in the first half of the 13th century, bears the architectural characteristics of Anatolian Seljuks. The tumulus, called Yassı, and remains from the Hittite and Roman periods, also deserve to be seen. The Kashanlı village relief, also referred to as the Maiden Rock, 35 kilometers from Afşin, dates from the Byzantine period and has depictions of Jesus Christ, the Virgin Mary, and Saint Johannes. Built during the reign of Anatolian Seljuks, the Ashab-ı Kehf Kulliya near the township of Afşin is among the most important structures in Anatolia. The place where the 7 sleepers are believed to have reawoken and become a legend. Today, where the mosque, the Ribat, dug into rocks, and the Caravanserai stand, is the area in which this legend came about. The township of Çağlayan Cerit, named after the Cerit tribe of Oghuz Turks, is in the east of Kahramanmaraş. Gözpınar and Aksu in the region are alternative places for those who are into outdoor sports and nature tourism. The township of Göksun, to the west of Kahramanmaraş, has a transitional climate, with its numerous tumuli and quite a few fortresses of various scales standing like natural guards of the region. Göksun attracts attention also with its rock tombs and Çakır Cave. The township of Elbistan, surrounded by mountains on all sides, ranks among Turkey's biggest and fertile plains. Watered by the Ceyhan River, this plain is full of tumuli dating from ancient times. There are ongoing excavations of some of the tumuli here, taken from the Hittites, and the kingdom of Kamagene. The excavation in the Black Tumulus, 10 kilometers from the township, has revealed that the region was one of the settlements of the Assyrian trade colonies. Ekinözü, referred to as Sela since the 17th century, was set up as an occasional stopover on the Erzurum, Sivas, Gürün, Darende, Elbistan and Kahramanmaraş caravan route. The spas named after the township increases the number of visitors to the region. The township of Nurhak, through which the historic Silk Road passes, has been named after the mountain nearby. The mountain, owing to its glitterings at night, was called by the people Nuruhak, meaning God's light. Over the years, it came to be called Nurhak. The township of Pazarcık, where the Mediterranean climate holds sway, is located on the skirts of the Gani mountain and full of historical artifacts. The old structures, cemetery chapels, remains of houses and water aqueducts, which make up the village of Turunçulu, make it rich in terms of historical remains. The township of Türkoğlu, where the climate has softened considerably because of an increase in the number of dams in the region, lies to the east of the Mediterranean region. The Doluca fortress in the region, also named Orçin, after the death of regional king's only daughter of a terminal illness. Another historical structure in the region is the Danişment Dalyan Bridge. Kahramanmaraş has the potential to meet all the requirements of its visitors. With a wide spectrum of accommodation facilities, from the budget boarding houses licensed by the Tourism Ministry to the boutique hotels, Kahramanmaraş offers a 2,000-bed capacity and the tranquil medium. Boasting a rich variety of choices in terms of tourism, Kahramanmaraş is also an important industrial center. A bustling center both socially and economically. Since the time of Dülkadiroğulları Principality, Kahramanmaraş had all the socio-economic activities centered in the 16th century around the Grand Mosque and its environs. The covered bazaars, old bazaars known as bedesten, and inns dating from that period, attest to trade having flourished in this area. The artisans of Kahramanmaraş, well versed in flat weaving and felt making, met all the requirements of Ottoman armies and horses. Also an advanced province in textiles industry, Kahramanmaraş has also about 500 industrial facilities operating in the food and metal sectors. With its agriculture-based industry until the beginning of 1950s, Kahramanmaraş launched a giant step forward in the 1980s and entered into a process of contemporary trade in industrialization. Today it has hundreds of textile facilities and is at a very important level, not only in terms of its own development and economy, but also the economic performance of the entire country. The entrepreneurs of Kahramanmaraş, having succeeded in going beyond Turkey's standards, have made very good use of the incentives and support given by the state and have made an incredible progress in the last 20 years. Another important sector in Kahramanmaraş is the industry of steel household utensils. What is needed is more time, incentives, and a more convenient medium for this sector to grow so that the labor force consisting of thousands of people may be further increased. Also having quite some performance in the agricultural field, Kahramanmaraş has launched successful initiatives in the agriculture-based industrial branches. The red pepper flakes and pepper paste produced from reputed Kahramanmaraş pepper and well-renowned Maraş ice cream have found their way to shelves all over the world. Kahramanmaraş also ranks on the top of the list where olive, cotton, sunflower and grapes are concerned. The Kahramanmaraş Sütçü İmam University, set up in 1992, has made important contributions to the city becoming genuinely urbanized with the projects and support consultancy services it carried out. The university, with its educational programs geared to recent years' favored professions such as forestry engineering, designing of industrial products and textiles designing, is making contributions to the city's industrial development. Kahramanmaraş, maintaining its growth and development on a daily basis with the conscientious work, financial or technical support of the East Mediterranean Development Agency, preserves its importance in many respects. Whether it be for commercial or traveling purposes, if you arrive in Kahramanmaraş, which proudly bears the title of being the only city in the world with an Order of Merit as a result of its heroic people's unrelenting struggle, you should never leave the city without trekking on its highlands, without cycling round the Sirdam Lake, without riding a horse in the Binboğa Mountains, without visiting the Köçoban Nature Conservation Area in Andırın, without dropping by at the Coppersmiths Bazaar, without seeing Ashab-ı Kehf Külliya, without drinking Maraş's homegrown delicious tarhana soup, without savoring the Maraş pepper, and without eating the reputed ice cream of Kahramanmaraş.